Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry of Reacts. Today we're going to take a look at the Flash trailer released about a month or so ago. We're running pretty late on it, but I'm here with Sly, I'm JB, and we're going to be checking this trailer out with you guys. Sly, you excited for this movie?
Dude, I am stoked. I love the Flash, but at the same time, I'm curious what Warner Brothers is going to do after their little blunder with Justice League.
Yes, the DC situation is so, like, convoluted, and I would even go so far to call it a clusterfuck that I don't even want to, like, try to understand what they're gonna do, or I'll try to even understand what's happening with this kind of thing. I almost kind of feel bad for a lot of the people that are still invested in the DCEU and the new James Gunn thing, which I think could be really good for a lot of stuff. But, like, at the same point, I feel terrible. I feel awful for Zachary Levi. I'm like, fuck The Rock, as usual, which has been my standpoint for probably the last year since I've seen anything related to Black Adam.
You big paper scissors guy?
Fuck him, dude. Fuck that. I feel like that'd be a separate video for us to talk about that whole thing. But that's really unfortunate. I hate that. But The Flash. Ever since we saw like a sneak peek of this, like 30 seconds, you know, we get some Batman in with this. I'm really excited. I love the Flashpoint Paradox. That's one of my favorite of all time, like DC animated movies. Love it.
It's a good chance for them to reset everything, to be honest.
Exactly, reset everything. You know, just also, I'm kind of glad Ezra Miller, is unhinged and unstable of a man he is, or person, excuse me. They are. Like, they still have a job with DC. Like, I'm really happy about that too. Just to kind of like, all right, let this dumpster fire cook. Let's see what happens. But it's a whole deal. Let's take a look at this trailer, you guys.
Agreed.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere.
God, that looks like shit.
Another timeline.
You haven't even seen him run yet.
Where's the chin? I don't want to see him run.
It's Batman.
So I'm gonna stay and fight to save this one.
I like the boots.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the world where my mom lives.
Oh my god, I do not give a shit about the storyline with their fucking mom. It was so overdone in the goddamn show. Oh, my mom, I need to save my mom. Shut up.
That it can't help reliving.
God, you can't.
God, they need to put a chin to that suit. I'm sorry, he just looks bad.
Drawn to each other like magnets.
Oh shit.
My face. You stole my face. If you were to go into the past,
Two flashes?
you have no idea what the consequences can be. Bruce, I could fix things. You could also destroy everything.
This can't be happening.
Is that Zod?
Yeah.
I completely broke the universe.
Rewind, Man of Steel.
We've been waiting.
Oh, dude, Zod was the only good thing for Man of
I
Steel.
created a world
For real.
with no metahumans. And now there's no one to defend us.
Want some help?
I'm Batman.
Oh, I see Michael Keaton's car
Yep.
underneath the tarp. Oh shit!
You are.
Yeah. I'm Batman.
That's so fucking cool. Oh, dude.
Honestly, I would like to see Keaton. I like that sequence.
If I can't undo what I did.
Was that
Yeah, they've got some Supergirl shit, which feels really unnecessary. in my
Supergirl?
opinion.
Okay, I was like, that looked like I don't know, like a younger Superman.
Whoa, what's up with the blue speedster? What was that
Yeah.
all about?
Whoa. Of the character that was like back to back with the Flash.
Yeah.
What's the play? Batman, what do we do?
We try not to die.
Whoa, who's that?
That's her.
Oh, it is. Okay. Whoa.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara.
I'm Barry. We're Barry.
Oh, that's awesome. How interesting of a dynamic. Oh,
Barry, what are you doing?
of like two berries the entire.
I know.
That's gonna be interesting. Oh, that's I like that how they like kind of give the option to watch the or look at the comics. That was a good ass trailer. I like that trailer.
It was a pretty good trailer. I have to give them credit there.
Is this the last trailer like or the last Flash movie like with their old plan that they had going on or are they gonna are they still gonna do like Aquaman 2?
Yes. Yes. It's funny you mentioned that. They've
Why?
confirmed that they've finished it, I think. And they said they did like a little screen testing and they're like, we should not have made this piece of shit, but we're going to release it anyway. And I'm like, wait, so you'll release this, but you threw Batgirl in the fucking dumpster after you poured millions into that. I don't know. I'm mind blown. And then the whole situation with Amber Heard and then
God,
this.
the Gotham Night show as well, which they've already canceled and shit.
Yep, they canceled that. Dude, they've been canceling DC projects left, right, and center. It's ridiculous how many things have been axed.
Why the fuck didn't they cancel? Like, all right, so I saw the trailer for Shazam 2. I saw it. I'm like, wow, that looked unbelievably bland and not great. And I liked the first Shazam movie.
I did too.
I thought it was fine. You know, in the middle of like I wasn't big on Aquaman. I thought those two movies were fine. I like Shazam. I thought it was more on the comedy side. I thought it was funny. I thought it fit. Then I saw that trailer. Then I saw everyone like, yeah, I totally bummed. Then Zachary was like, yeah, The Rock was supposed to be the villain, but then it turns out that The Rock wanted to actually shape the DCEU to where he and Superman Henry Cavill were the main like guys or the main heroes of the DCEU and wanted to shape it that way. And for some reason, The Rock had so much fucking creative control, he somehow took the villain Black Adam and made him not the villain for the character he was supposed to be like against, kind of canonically. Whenever I look at stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, Shazam and Black Adam, that's kind of like the nemesis and hero role that I've seen previously with comic book shit.
When I think Black Adam, I think like anti-villain. I think if you know of like Godspeed in the comics or like maybe Deathstroke, you know, they're like, yes, they're villains, but at the end of the day, sometimes they'll do things, you know, they'll fight off other villains simply because they know they're like, okay, hold on, I may do some pretty fucked stuff, but you're crossing a line that's like way beyond what I usually do.
Right.
And The Rock just changed that completely. And I haven't even seen that film, but I've seen so many clips of it on YouTube, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to see this film.
No, I do not want to see it. It looks like shit. I bet it's
the best
trash.
part about it looks like Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate.
Yeah, I also heard really good things about Hawkman as well.
Yeah, Hawkman. Honestly, I love the actor for Hawkman. I think they really casted right for that. And then Dr. Fate, you know, both those two characters, they nailed. But what's unfortunate is that those aren't the standalone characters of that film.
Right.
It's a Black Adam film at the end of the day, and unfortunately, it's not gonna get a sequel.
I hope not, and I feel bad because the Shazam 2 like sequel did not do very well, and it looks like they're just gonna wash their hands of that situation. And I enjoyed the first Shazam movie. I thought Zachary Levi was a good actor for it and everything.
Yep.
But I don't know what's gonna happen because I don't think James Gunn wants to use The Rock or Shazam, right, with his plan.
No, he does not. I don't even think he wants to do Blue Beetle either. But I think what happened with a lot of these projects was, out of respect, he was like, I'm going to let you guys finish what you started. Because, hey, at the end of the day, revenue's revenue.
Yeah,
you guys have already sunk money into this. You might as well get a return on your yield. It's better than just throwing it in the garbage because no money will be made of it if it doesn't get released. So at the very least, we could put some money in our pockets. We could put that forward to some new projects. Because he's already talked about his new goals. I mean, he wants to essentially make a young DCU or DCE or whatever he's going to end up calling it. Because if you look at the MCU, it was pretty middle-aged, you know, it was like 30, 40s
Yeah,
for
man,
like
Ben
most of the
Affleck's old as fuck. Like Batman's old as
Exactly.
shit. He's had the most of his adventures behind him. He's got his Joker uniform and a glass cage. He's already had his big feuds and shit.
Yeah. James Gunn wants to go the exact opposite way and go like mid-20s to like early 30s for all of his heroes because he wants to like I think he's trying to do what the MCU did unintentionally. He's trying to intentionally build a dynasty and create this universe. And that's hard to do when that is your plan from the get-go. That is extremely difficult to do.
Right. I think that's one of the biggest missteps that that Warner Bros. Has ever had, is that the entire time they've been trying to play catch up, and they've been trying to make like MCU, and I feel like they're blindsided completely, and like you're going about this the entire wrong way, you know. I feel like those are their biggest missteps, where they're like, all right, cool.
Their best work has been the films that are not trying to create a universe. The Batman. Sure, it has some mixed reviews because it could be a little bit bland.
But cinematically,
performance-wise,
it's quite good.
yeah,
too.
cinematically
Yeah.
and performance-wise, it outperformed every other film that's come out. And then the other one would be the Joker. Sure, it's had some polarizing opinions on both sides, but at the end of the day, dude, that one got a sequel.
Memorable movie, yeah.
Very memorable movie. And then the only other things are James Gunn's projects. The Suicide Squad, remake or reboot, soft reboot. That thing did fire in the box office for a reasonable amount, and then it had big character attachment.
And that was during
then
like pretty
Peacemaker,
good like COVID times as well. Like when
It
COVID
was,
still
yeah.
like really big thing.
kind of
too.
a shocker, yeah. And then Peacemaker, that show was fire. That show was great, dude.
Yeah. It's interesting to see where all this shit's gonna go. It's really interesting to see. I'm glad that you have a pretty like good take on all of it as well. I saw one post, I don't know how accurate it is, how apparently they were trying to do an extended like version of Zack Snyder's bullshit and trying to make like sequels to Zack Snyder's like films and trying to do another Justice League type of thing. I don't know if that's just people like fan casting or something like that, but I'm just like, holy fucking shit, because we already have Batman sequels in the work, and that's its own project. And we have got like James Gunn DC stuff, and that's its own project. And it's like, you can't keep doing this. Like, it's going to be confusing for casual people as well. Even for me, like, it's going to be confusing.
I mean, remember when they scrapped the New Gods project on DC simply because of the Snyder Cut being released?
Yeah.
They released Darkseid. This is going to confuse viewers. We're going to scrap this project.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was the biggest, like, pettiest move that DC or Warner Brothers could have made at that time. But at the same time, at a certain point, I kind of realized, yeah, that was pretty warranted. That is going to confuse the average viewer, because as it was, most average viewers that watched the Snyder Cut didn't understand half the movie because it was so convoluted and all over the place.
Right. I feel like you needed a lot of background information and knowledge to experience that movie and know it like well enough. That's one of the biggest problems I think with DC EU, because like originally they came out like, here's Batman versus Superman, here's the Suicide Squad, which is like an amalgamation of all these brand new characters, like, and
there's no
crazy,
cohesiveness anywhere.
crazy like people that like, it's, you go like, all right, there's an alien from a different planet, all right, cool, and like here's this weird movie with a bunch of fucked up creatures and people in it, and they've already been put behind bars, and it's like, man, I feel like a lot of those like interactions could have warranted a movie before. And then like, all right, Justice League, boom. And it's like, even in Justice League, or it was Batman vs Superman, they like introduced the Wonder Woman. It's just like, it's just so confusing and trying to fit so much into one thing. It's
To
too
me,
much.
this is another thing that bothers me. It's like, why are we getting solo films for a massive character like the Flash after you guys made Justice League? Way out of line. That should have been the exact opposite order. The Flash should have been, in my opinion, the third or fourth solo film that came out, because you need Batman, you need Superman. Those should be the first two.
Yes.
Third should be Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman first movie, it was okay. It was pretty good. I don't have much negative to say about it. I just wish it wasn't a period film. I wish it wasn't set in the 1940s, 50s. I would have preferred it was modern day.
Yeah.
But then when they made that second one in the 80s, I was like, okay, I would prefer that it wasn't made at all. But with the Flash, this is a character that's replaceable. There are numerous Flashes.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one Superman. There's only one Wonder Woman. There's only one Batman. But the Flash is one of those things. It's like, it's a name more than an actual person.
Right.
So the fact that this is like an afterthought for one of the most influential characters in DC, it just seems so lazy.
I don't know who's in charge, but they're not doing a great job, obviously.
No,
And they weren't doing a great job, and
Yeah.
and I think they're paying for it, and I think they have a
Yeah.
lot of regrets too, because obviously they're all paying for
And I
it.
feel like we can't blame Peter Safran or James Gunn for this one, because like he came into this was already in progress. This
Yeah.
was incipient.
They came into the fire that was already started.
Exactly.
trying to
Yeah.
put
This
flames
was
out.
already well into development. This was already slated. This was already planned. So he just kind of has to like ride this out, which is going to be a really awkward like 6 months for him, or at least until Aquaman comes out, which I hope is the end of this year. I think it got pushed back again.
Oh, God, I don't know anything about that movie besides you could call it controversy with Amber Heard. You know, this abuser that has for some reason still has a job and still put on a pedestal and appreciated and loved. For
It's
some
the same
reason.
thing with Ezra Miller here, though. You know, they've had a pretty bad track record, pretty modeled history with, like abuse and like punching people at bars
Spiraling.
and doing a bunch of things. I'm like, man, how did they manage to keep on to this position for so long? How?
Yeah, it's
How? I just don't get it. I don't know if it's a double standard. I don't know what's going on, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I'm not a big fan of Ezra Miller, like as an actor or.
No, Sly fucking hates Ezra Miller as the Flash. That has been well documented in the past 5-6 years of Sly being in the Foundry.
Yeah. But I'm trying to keep an open mind for this, even though, when I think of the Flash and I see everything I saw in this trailer, I never would have anticipated seeing half this shit. I would have anticipated, hey, we'd see the Reverse Flash, or maybe we'd get like the origin story of how he became the Flash. But no, we're just going with the cliche. Oh, here's my mom Nora. Anyway, she's dead. Like, I've seen it time and time again. I feel like she's my mom at this point, dude. She's
I'm tired of hearing about your goddamn mom.
yeah. Crazy, man.
But I'm glad we could actually talk about a lot of the DCEU stuff, because I've seen comments, I've seen people asking about it on our videos and stuff. I'm glad we could actually address a lot of that shit and talk to you guys about that, because that's something that I've wanted to talk about. It's hard to be like, all right, we're gonna do a video on this and then speak our piece. But hey, it's nice that we can pair up. We can talk about the Flash, something that I am personally very excited for, and hopefully a lot of you guys too. I mean, like, think about that. Michael Keaton Batman is back.
That's
baby.
one thing I'm excited for. I am excited for some Michael Keaton. He's excellent. I loved his Batman. It is a little corny, sure, but if you pair like his acting as Batman with the modern combat and I guess cinematography, we'll probably get some pretty badass hallway / like action sequences for him, which will be well worth it. And then honestly, the Supergirl thing's gonna be pretty unusual. I never anticipated seeing that in a Flash film.
It's going to be very confusing. It kind of reminds me, because I believe it was at the end of Flashpoint Paradox when everything was going to shit, because I believe Superman was locked up for years and years, and he was all like disgustingly hungry, almost looked like a Holocaust survivor, because like he feeds off the sun and he wasn't exposed to the sun or anything like that, and he just looked like he was just I don't know how to put it, just a mutilated version of what Superman is, and that kind of looked like her in the prison outfit or something like that. That's what it kind of reminded me of, and I think that's the end of Flashpoint Paradox. I might be wrong, but it's been a while since I've seen that movie. Also, yeah, watch the Flashpoint Paradox. Watch that animated movie. It is so fucking good. You will love it. But I think that's going to be it for the Foundry Reacts to The Flash. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Sly, thanks for tagging along, buddy.
My pleasure, bud. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but we'll see you guys later in the next DCEU project. But until then, bye, you guys.
Bye.